Hello, this is Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I felt the need to try to help out our local hobby shop, as well as the hobby shop owners worldwide, because the hobby of RC, cars and planes and quads and all those kind of fun hobby toys, or whatever you want to call them, they're not near as there's not near as many people that are into the hobby as there used to be. 20 years ago, you had a choice of 2 or 3 hobby shops in your local community. Now you have to drive quite a distance. Unless you live in the middle of a big town, you have to drive quite a distance in order to find a hobby shop where you can purchase directly parts and accessories. And so the hobby is in trouble, for one thing. One of the things that I don't know if you're aware of or not, but there's a company called Hobby Co, and it is a large company worldwide, and they just filed for Chapter 11. Let's take a look at the brands that they cover, and if they go down, a lot of other companies will also go down. And so let's just look at their brand. Let's look at all the brands, and we'll scroll down through here. And if you're a hobbyist, an RC enthusiast, you might recognize some of these companies. Okay, they're supporting these companies worldwide, and these companies depend upon their assistance in getting their products out to the rest of the world. So maybe you notice some of the products that you have used in the past, and I see a few that I have also. Now, so this company is a very important company to the hobby community. But if we go over here and we look at who we are and come down to company news, we find that they have filed Chapter 11 and are seeking to sell the company because they're having financial difficulties. And the reason they're having financial difficulties is because people aren't buying the products that they support. And it's like just like anything else. Back when I was getting into electronics, back way long time ago, and I was making projects and so forth, and I was teaching electronics in a high school. If you wanted to make a project, there were several little electronics parts shops around town, and you could go buy little capacitors, variable capacitors, and transformers. And then gradually, as people started watching television, because back then there was no internet, watching television and spending time sitting on their behinds, nobody was making projects, and so a lot of those companies, little stores, died off, and finally all we had left was Radio Shack, and now Radio Shack is dying off because we have so many activities that relate to just sitting and watching something on a plastic screen. So anyway, Hobby Co is having difficulties, and at the present time there's only one company that is bidding to purchase them, and that is Horizon Hobby. And if you're familiar with Horizon Hobby, I've purchased several things from Horizon Hobby. Our local hobby store has a lot of Horizon Hobby products available. And what I'm saying is anything you can do to support your local hobby shop is a good idea, because if things keep going the way they are, you won't have a local hobby shop to go get parts from. So this is not good news, and that's part of the reason that I'm putting this together. The purpose of a hobby shop is to get personal attention. For instance, at our local hobby shop, if I want to find out if about a product, I can call them on the phone, and there will be somebody there who's anxious to help me. So your local hobby shop is the same. If you have a question about a product, they can answer your question. And when you purchase from a local hobby shop, of course, you're supporting the hobby. If you have a project that you're working on and you need parts or accessories, you can get them at your local hobby shop. You can also purchase tools and accessories and things that you need to work on whatever it is you might be working on. And they have a large selection of everything, and it's like when you go to Amazon or something like that, you have a limited selection of only those things that are sold that Amazon handles. And so you get more choices, and you you don't have to wait for something to come in the mail, and that's nice. I know that you can go to Amazon and get something supposedly in 2 days with no shipping, and but if you need it, if you want to get it sooner, you can get it at your local hobby shop, and they will tell you if you go to your local hobby shop and they don't have it. They will be smarter than the rest of us on helping you find where to look for it. And let me just kind of give you an idea of what has happened to our society. Years ago, if you wanted to, this was before internet, before the website and Amazon and cell phones and all that. If you wanted to buy something hobby-wise, you first of all sent a letter or went to the grocery store and bought a magazine that had their advertisement, and then you would call them and order a catalog. Wait just a minute. You didn't call them back in those days, before the internet, before computers, before cell phones. What you did was you wrote a letter to the company and requested a catalog. Long-distance phone calls back in those days cost a lot of money. So we didn't call. We wrote them a letter and we ordered the catalog. You get the catalog, and then you would find what you wanted in the catalog and look at the price. And then there was usually a piece of page in the back, 2 or 3 pages. They're called order forms. And you would put down the product number and the information, and then how much the price was. And you'd fill the form out and how many you wanted, and you did all the calculations and totals. And then you wrote a check. You usually didn't send money. You wrote a check, put the thing in an envelope, and sent it to the address that was shown in the magazine. Probably 2 weeks later or more, you would get the whatever it was you ordered, and that's how it used to be. But we're spoiled nowadays, and being spoiled is fine, and that's nice. But we need to support our local hobby shop. So I would just encourage you to do that. So anyway, that's the purpose of this video, is to support our local hobby shop. Well, I went to my local hobby shop, which is Superstition Hobbies, south of Phoenix, at the foot of Superstition Mountain, and visited them to let them know I was going to be promoting local hobby shops, and asked them what they had in the way of balance chargers for LiPo and LiHV batteries, and they gave me a nice list. And if you recall, it was I think it was about 3-4 weeks ago, I promoted a particular balance charger which I had purchased. It was a Turnigy AccuCell 6, and I mean, it's an excellent charger. But I got some comments because not everybody has a drawer full of extra parts and so forth, and it came with XD60 plugs and sockets, and those are the yellow ones that not everybody uses. And so I got some comments on what they needed to do in order to get things to work. And also, it didn't come with a power supply, but I already had a power supply. So I went to my local hobby shop and I said, what do you have that would make it easy for folks to go ahead and just get a balanced charger that'll do LiPos and LiHVs? And the one of the first ones he showed me was a Venom, and I've had a Venom charger before, and this particular one that you're looking at is the one they had there. And of course they're economically priced. They're about the same price as if you were to order it online. And you know, if you order it from them, you'll probably have to pay shipping, but at least you'll be supporting the hobby. So that's one that'll do both LIHV and LiPo batteries. And if these are AC DC, in other words, you plug them into the wall, you don't need a power supply. Another one he showed me was a high-tech X1, I guess it's called. But anyway, that's another one that they have, and it's AC/DC. You plug it into the wall. You don't need a power supply, which costs extra. And then they also had some other ones, like this will charge 2 batteries at the same time. Of course, it costs more, but it's AC/DC, and it does both LIHV and LiPo batteries. And then they also had a 4-plug one if you want to charge 4 batteries at the same time. But then you're getting up into higher prices. But that's my local hobby shop. And by the way, their phone number is right there. You can call them, talk to them, order from them, and I'm sure they would be happy to hear from you. And you'll be supporting at least our local hobby shop. I would suggest you support your local hobby shop, but if you want to support ours, that's fine too. Anyway, you can get the same thing that we order from off of Amazon and from Hobby King and all. You can get the same stuff from a local outfit, and you'll have personal help and assistance in ordering, or even if you have trouble, you can get back to them. They're a small business that has to maintain a large inventory, so give them all the help you can and support your local hobby shop.